I did my first video and I was quite happy with a lot of my picks, but there are far too many to highlight that do not have a given release date. So I am back to add more to your wish list. User Aimbox commented that Silksong should have been mentioned in the last video. They are right. It should have been at least mentioned, but the hype for it pushed it out of my mind. It is an obvious pick and should have at least gotten some sort of mention, so here it is. Similarly, if I missed any games that do not have a release date, please let me know in the comments. Combo Devils has me quite intrigued. It is a combination of a platform fighting game like Smash and a traditional fighting game like Street Fighter. I have a long history with Smash and I've played fighting games since I was a child. The mixing of the two seems weird on paper, but the look of the game seems quite cool. What I want to see is how the combos work in conjunction with expressive movement. We see some of it in the trailers and some development matches, but I want a hands-on answer to the question, do the two work together? When you think of the fighting game genre, you don't think of it having new ways to innovate itself. The formula was built 30 years ago and big innovations came through with more technical things like the move to 3D. Diesel Legacy is looking to change that. It's a 2 versus 2 fighting game with all characters on screen at once. And when I say 2 versus 2, I'm saying you need a teammate. There's no tagging like in other team games. The other thing it does differently is that it has 3 lanes characters can be in. This opens up new options for evasion, movement, and protecting your teammate. Add in the steampunk roaring 20 setting, and you have one that looks so cool. If you are a fan of indie games, you for certain have either heard of or played Celeste. The developer, Extremely OK Games, has their next game on the horizon. Visually, the colors and details make it stand out amongst other platformers. Add combat to that, and I am quite excited to learn more about it. When the original came out, most thought of it as a game like Undertale, primarily because it looks like it, but it's far different from Undertale. Music-based battles, characters that are very unexpected, battles and storylines that are much more involved than one would seem. That is all praise for the original. The sequel looks just as good and more bonkers than the first, and that's very telling if you're familiar with Everhood. An aspect of games that draw people to them are the impossibilities being performed like they are simple tasks. A motocross jump off the top of Niagara Falls over 15 helicopters, eating 48 slices of cake and still having enough room for 3 hamburgers. Your imagination can run wild, and video games very likely could have done one of those things. Seeing the running speed, jump heights, and the ability to float like wearing a flight suit is why Haste looks so appealing. Kidbash checks off a lot of boxes for me. Retro-like gameplay? Check. Fun look that makes it stand out? Check. Roguelite? Not always necessary, but we'll take it. It seems to have weapons like Mega Man, but they're combinable. And because it's a roguelite, it sounds like you can build interesting synergies with them. I think Kidbash is one that a lot of people should keep an eye on. Everyone has had those dangerous moments where you're on a phone or playing a handheld video game system while walking. Screenbound takes those moments and expands on it. The character in the game is playing a game on the handheld. When you move the lead character, they move the character in their game as well. But their world is impacted by the actions in their handheld. It is really hard to explain, so watch the clip if I confuse you. The game idea is very meta and I like what it brings to the table. Dorfromantic is in the hands of many video gamers, and when it moved to board gaming, it won the worldwide award for Family Game of the Year. The Spiel des Jahres, which has been awarded annually since 1978. Now the developers are partnering with the German animation studio and YouTube channel Kurzengag. They have a very distinct style to their videos, and Starbirds fits right in with their style. The ideas of mixing base building and management in a sci-fi universe seems very appealing to me, and mixed with the looks, you have one that I'm very excited for. I didn't know about Trip until I saw NoCap's video for it. The link to the video will be in the description, but Trip has a lot of things going for it for me. I have a personal bias towards trains and public transportation. The characters and colors make me think of a Studio Ghibli movie, and I'm always looking for a game with a dark tone behind its cute appearance.